launch a forum and discuss the way forward, organized by Uganda Youth Development Link here at Hotel Africana, and we are answering the call for protection of children, Article 54 of the Constitution of the Republic of Uganda. And these are one of the efforts and steps that the government and the public takes to protect children. And in particular, we are talking about the exploitation of children against cyber harassment or the online abuse, sexual abuse. So the front battle is taken by Uganda Youth Development Link, and we hope that this advocacy has been captured by the ministry to ensure that as we go on to launch the policy, draft the policy and launch it, then we should certainly take into account the clause about protecting children about cyber harassment.
Last 2-3 years, we're implementing a 1 billion project, almost a 1 billion project, where we're rehabilitating withdrawing children from commercial sex exploitation. And some of the children we are receiving at our centers have experienced something similar to online sexual exploitation.
In Uganda, we've been supporting sustainable and inclusive development through infrastructure development in water and sanitation, in energy, in environment protection and resilience to climate change, and support also the private sector and through them creation of job and added value products. You may then ask yourself why we are coming to this project. It is because we support development that we do care about the most vulnerable people. The French government has been supporting for many years NGOs like yours, committed to protect children, to enhance human rights, to promote a gender-balanced approach. This kind of project is particularly of interest because it brings a holistic approach to some practices that are detrimental to the most vulnerable people within our communities, but are also destroying the roots of our societies.
I think the biggest and most effective tool that can be used to stop this vice is just being based on awareness of the right message to the young people at the ages that are very active on the internet. From age 7 to 18, we need to invest in a lot of engagements, a lot of peer-to-peer discussions, and awareness on what the danger is and how it can be avoided. That, in my view, I think is the strongest, because that is technology. Awareness.
19% of the population, roughly 19-20% is connected, and it's just numbers are going to go up. So it won't go away. That's something we need to accept as a society. That's the way things are. And this, of course, has implications on the strategies that we want to design to combat the problems that we're discussing here today. But it's not only that we are increasingly connected, it's because it's also very fast. That's another problem. So 15 years ago, Facebook did not exist. Instagram just appeared a while ago. Then tomorrow it will be another technology. And again, this is important because when we design strategies, we want to focus on human behavior rather than the platform, because the platform is going to disappear one way or another, maybe in a 6-month time or 5 years, but it will go away. So when we design strategies and discuss those things with children, for example, we want to focus on why privacy is important.
Having implemented this program for some time, we have realized that there are quite a number of issues that are coming in, and we think that a more encompassing approach towards issues related to children should actually be used in programming for children. So we have, because the policy, all this policy has been there 13 years, we are reviewing it. And we are reviewing it, and this time around we are coming up with the National Child Policy. This national child policy is also responding to our obligation to the East African community. So one of the things we are doing, we are looking at the various programs that we have already in the development of this policy. For instance, we had a draft policy against system, but the subject that we discussed.
The more resources, more financial support is needed to be given to NGOs for two reasons. One reason is to extend the accommodation of children in the shelters. It is between 3 and 6 months, and in some cases, more support is needed for a longer period of time. And the second reason is that right now, civil society works not only with permanent staff but with volunteers as well. It means that the child, when he or she goes to an NGO and asks for help, on the first time he or she finds a volunteer, and when the child goes back to this organization for the second time, the child asks to speak to the same person, but this person does not work here anymore because he was a volunteer and he left. As a result, civil society needs more resources, more financial support to recruit permanent staff.
As UCC, we came up with what we call regulations because we realized that among the laws that we have, there's no law that compels our internet service providers to put down certain content. So that's why we had to review some of this, and then we came up with some cybersecurity regulations that are going to help us to safeguard children's online experience and the use of communication services, as well as promoting their productive use in Uganda. So, we as UCC, we are able to help different stakeholders in case if they have such kind of content. So we issue a directive immediately for the ISPs to remove such abusive content in relation to, especially if it is an abusive content, maybe if it is an online child sexual abusive content.
From the presentation by the gentleman from UCC, one of the key challenges raised for our reflection is the fact that sexual exploitation of children is not viewed as a serious crime. I did not understand the context of that being viewed as unserious, and I don't know by which section, because I think if there's any kind of violence on children that has reversible effects, it is the sexual violence. The legal framework is available, but we know that not many cases are prosecuted to the end. Maybe some sections viewed as unserious. I would have loved to hear more about the context of who views it as unserious and how can we address it.
Well, we have a full department that is able to do consumer awareness, that is online child sexual abuse and prevention. So we came up with different awareness materials that can be disseminated to different stakeholders, and which is well handled by the consumer department. Then under Facebook, we as UCC are the designated agency, remove all the content, the abusive content. So long as it violates the community standard of Facebook, then we are able to remove it immediately.
My name is Lucy Karahuma Oju. I'm a senior state attorney working with the DPP's office. Laura talked about the DPP handbook on prosecuting child-related cases, and she also mentioned that online child sexual abuse is part of what is covered in that handbook. We have been doing several trainings of prosecutors on how to handle these cases of online child sexual abuse. However, throughout those trainings, something peculiar has been coming up us across. And this is, we have been telling prosecutors, whoever we train, that children are only victims and not perpetrators, may I call it, for the legal, forgive me for the legal, the legal language. But what has been the problem is the criminal liability lies when we talk about children. The law says is 12 years. We are looking at these children who have probably taken photos, naked photos, they've captured videos within themselves. They are children, but at the same time, they have that criminal liability. It has been an area of contention, and I think this is the right forum where I should bring it up, where we have other experts from other countries with experience from other countries. I wanted to hear something about that. What is the comment? Because the law here is saying criminal liability starts at the age of 12. But we have children who are 15 years who are actually generating those photos themselves and sharing them.
Criminal liability? Well, basically, this is a problem. We are aware of it, but this is the law. This is what is in place. So when the law is not adapted to new practices, basically you have one way to go is to amend the law and look at legal best practices outside of the country, come to an agreement in the country or among the bodies that are in charge of amending the laws that there is an issue there, a weakness maybe, and it's time for a change or an amendment, and look at other provisions, and maybe the revenge porn conduct might be a solution. Look at it, and that's what I would recommend. For the detection issue Mr. Vincent mentioned, and Nicoletta this morning mentioned the photo DNA solution. Do you know, I'm not aware, can you tell me if ISPs here are using photo DNA? And if they are not, maybe that's something very practical that the Commission can do and work out with them, so that Microsoft is donating this technology for free, and it's very easy to get it. So if you wanted to improve detection, that would be one way of doing it very quickly and without engaging in a lot of spending. Thank you.
Was invited to attend a global conference, as you saw in the presentation by Irene, when he was invited to attend a global conference on online child sex abuse in London in 2014, where I was privileged to accompany him and the Commission and Child Family Protection. We realized that there was a problem because what was presented in that global conference, we realized it was also touching us. We realized there was increasing popularity of the use of internet by the children in Uganda, but we had not yet developed that consciousness that it could be as dangerous as that. And so when we came back, the minister decided that we form an ad hoc working group. We identified those organizations, ministries, and departments which we felt were key, and also included the civil society organizations, and of course we were also being helped by the UNICEF. So we invited a number of agencies, including Minister of Gender, Labour and Social Development, Minister of Justice and Constitutional Affairs, the police, Minister of Education and Sports, Minister of Ethics and Integrity. Then we also had the DPP. Then we also involved NITA Uganda, that's National Information Technology Authority, and then the Uganda Communications Commission. We also involved the Minister of Foreign Affairs. And under the police, specifically, we included the various sections departments which are responsible, and we included the CID, the investigators, child and family protection, community liaison officers, and then the cybercrime unit. So we formed a working group, and this working group has been responsible for initiating and fast-tracking strategies to respond and prevent online child sex abuse. And so we made some desk reviews, we sat and had discussions, and we created a way forward on how to tackle the problem at the national level. We are also responsible for creating and facilitating national coordination mechanism on the subject matter, because we are internally trying to develop how do we link up so that we are able to work together and be able to manage the issue. We also agreed to encourage the stakeholders to include online child sex abuse in their ongoing organizational plans, programs, master plans, investment plans, and projects. So that, you know, we didn't want to take it like it is singled alone, because we know there are already a number of programs going on, like a crime. Police is fighting crime. The only thing is to empower them, know that there is another additional crime, and this is its characteristic. So we devote capacity to handle it. It shouldn't be handled in a separate way.
Online child sexual exploitation, in its context, due to the fact that it is committed using a computer, and when we talk of a computer, we talk of mobile phones and laptops and all other electronic devices that can store data. Then you talk of online, that means it's computers and internet or a network. So I think to prevent it, we need to do more awareness workshops and sensitization of the public to know that if images of a young child or any person under 18, if it is spread over the internet, or if you're found to be in possession of that child, of that image or video, that is criminal. And we derive this from the Computer Misuse Act, where we have a section that talks about child pornography, and it says that possession, transmission, and even consuming child pornography, it's a criminal under the Computer Misuse Act.
First of all, we need to understand that many actors need to be involved in combating the sexual exploitation of children online. The police alone cannot do it all. International organizations alone, they cannot do it, or private sector. So they all need to come together from different areas and work together, because this is a problem that is cross-cutting different fields. It has to do with technology, it has to do with law, it has to do with community values. So that's why all of us together we can do better work.
Actually, the parents, they don't know. They are not reluctant, but they don't know that this is it's a crime. And even us in law enforcement, it's new to us, but for the past 2 years in the working group on prevention of online child sexual abuse, we've tried to sensitize officers, sensitize the public. We are even in collaboration with the Ministry of Education. We are going to schools to sensitize the students, the children. They should know that taking pictures of children under the age of 18, naked pictures, and sending them to other people or even amongst themselves. And we have, as technology advances, we have these social media platforms. We have Facebook, we have WhatsApp. All these ones, they are promoting the vice, but the people, even the children themselves, the people, the parents themselves, they don't know that this is a crime, and it's criminal. If you're found doing it, you can be prosecuted in the courts of law.
It was created to transform Uganda into a knowledge-based society by leveraging IT as a strategic resource to enhance government services, enrich businesses, and empower citizens. Now, whereas we are pushing or promoting the use of ICT in government across the country and putting in place the right environment so that the innovations can grow, so that the sector can grow. There are some people who are bent on the negative side of things, people who have all intents and purposes to use the internet as a medium to commit crime, as a medium to commit horrendous activities such as what we're doing, talking about the sexual exploitation of children. And we've done quite a number of initiatives with different stakeholders in Uganda. And one of the things that we've done is establish the Uganda National Competent Emergency Response Team and Coordination Center. This is housed under NITA Uganda for the meantime, but it will eventually grow into its own organization. The purpose of this unit is to create centralized coordination and response to incidents that affect us as a country, whichever sector we're in. Because as Bill has presented, some of the issues we deal with are beyond our boundaries, and the culprits are located in other countries. Now, this framework allows us to investigate some of such cases or support communication so that such cases can be solved and brought to conclusion. Also, NITA is very, very instrumental in the development of the Computer Misuse Act of 2011 that has been famously quoted in all child online protection workshops, awareness events. And mainly to mirror the UK law, which is very strong on child online protection, going through what Bill presented, the production, sharing, transmission of child sexual abuse material, mainly is what is provided for within the law. We've also collaborated with the Internet Society. Internet Society, a group of ambassadors or people who believe in promoting the internet for good. And in every country you go to, it's made up of young people who speak for the internet and speak for how the internet can improve the lives of the youth, the lives of the community, the lives of society. So we partnered with the ISOP chapter in Uganda to promote aspects of child online awareness within the schools, within the communities where the youth interact a lot. Because one of the ways that sexual grooming starts is over the internet. And like Bill has mentioned, in most cases the parents are not aware or they don't know how to go about the devices their children use. Right in the schools, it's also the same thing, the teachers are not aware.
What happens is that most of the laws that we have currently to fight online child sexual exploitation or that support online child sexual exploitation are not very much known by the communities but also the parents. But also the fact that your child can be abused online. Many times you find that the parents are just giving their children phones, or children are accessing parents' phones because everybody's having a smartphone and the children even know the apps better than the parents because the parents are more PO box or parents that were .com, and now we are having an e-generation that is more aware of technology, is smart about using of these different means and mediums of communications and social media, which parents are not aware of. And one of the key things that we have really worked, that is very significant about this workshop or this meeting with key stakeholders, is that it's bringing together a number of stakeholders from different sectors, from government, from civil society, and even well-wishers from international organizations that are coming together to commit to fighting child sexual exploitation online, but also coming up with valuable recommendations that we can use to fight online child sexual exploitation. It's been a great meeting where we have come up with very key direct commitments that include having key resources in place, include committing human resource or training for human resource, revising our regulations, ratifying and signing national conventions or international conventions as a country that will show our commitment to fighting online child sexual exploitation.
And as well as promoting the use of machinery that can protect and inhibit access to children pictures and change of images and access to pornography. And we need to work together as government to ban. Otherwise, the children are bright as well. We are living in an e-world. So before you know, as a parent, the children are doing their work. But further still, the parents should be more vigilant in ensuring that they constantly monitor what a kid is trying to watch. So it begins with the parents and it spreads to the rest of the world because the family is the smallest unit of society.